Today the scripture that we will be focusing on is Hebrews 11:26. He thought it was better to suffer for the sake of Christ than to own the treasures of Egypt. Some might wonder if Moses pondered if he had made the right decision or not in leaving Pharaoh's palace. I mean, from Pharaoh's palace he had power, influence, and money. Let's stop real quick and just realize that Moses did make the right choice when he decided to stand up against the Jewish oppressors. He did it in a wrong way, but Moses made the right choice when he decided that he was going to no longer let this happen to his people. Part of this is due to the fact that his own family rescued him from being killed from an Egyptian law, to save his life based off a principle that they had in their own heart. Now, the interesting part about this is that Moses didn't know the law of God before he made those decisions. So how did he make a judgment on what was good or what was bad before knowing the law of God? Well, God placed in each and every one of us principles long before we were born. In us is the innate desire to see justice and to see it fulfilled. If you want to see a living example of that, just look at your children. If they get a toy taken from them, won't they scream, "Hey, that's not fair"? That's an immediate reaction that a child has based off of an injustice that they feel. If you want to know more about how we have this ingrained in us, search up Romans chapters 1-3, and it will tell you explicitly that everyone has right and wrong written on their hearts before the law of God was spoken to them, and no one is above reproach for that. You see, today, if we stand for our principles, we're often called hardliners. We're often persecuted because we have strong beliefs. So some of us stray away from it. Some of us get too scared. We don't want to be labeled that. But other people across the world are taking up that name. They are taking that up because they want to see justice fulfilled. They're living their life for principle, for what God has said is right and what God has said is wrong. And they're being murdered, they're being beaten, they're being put in jail for it. Today we have a choice to make. Are we going to stand up for what God said is right or what God said is wrong? Are we going to stand up for justice? And if we're not, what's keeping us back? Today, take the time to search your heart for what's keeping you from standing with these people who are being martyred and killed for their beliefs. What is holding you back from living your life the way that God has called you to live based off of His principles?